here, steelhead fishing again, as usual. So what we got here is a slinky, and about a 24 inch to, you can go as long or as short as you want, but this is about 24 inches, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. 24 to 36-inch leader, uh, orange bead, and a number 8 hook. Now you can go bigger to avoid some of the smaller fish. It's really up to your preference. I'm going small because I want to catch fish, not just be fishing. So if I mix in a smaller fish once in a while, I'm okay with that. Howdy, Cowboy Joe. How you doing today? And then that's on the 8.6 medium heavy action Berkeley. One of the last Berkeleys I've got, to be honest with you. I've got a couple left, but not too many of these Berkeley steelhead rods. They just don't make them anymore. And if they do, they're not selling them in my area. So it's kind of the way it goes. You know, I used Berkeley for a long time for steelhead fishing, and then when I couldn't buy them no more in my area, I switched to Okuma, which makes a really good product too. So I didn't really miss out on anything. So this is the IM8. I think that was the last year I could find them was when they made that that IM8. This is an 8.6 rod, meant for 10 to 20 pound test. You can throw. Well, this one don't actually have the odd or ounces of weight it's meant for, but. And then I got the old Okuma, or not Okuma, but the old Shimano Corrado. I've had this thing forever. Some people would be like, why would you spend that kind of money on a reel? Well, I've had this for, what, 12 years now? 13 years? And still using it. Yeah, Okuma makes some really good stuff. But anywho, first cast, going in. Going after whatever wants to bite you guys. So I just thought I'd go over that real quick, and we'll be throwing some spoons and some spinners and everything else. But I've had some questions about the old jig fishing and if it actually works, and it does. I don't do a lot of the bead fishing, but you know, bead fishing works. Catch a lot of fish doing that. I mean, I don't do a lot of it, but I mean, you can definitely catch a lot of them doing that. So I've seen days to where the bead's about the only thing to throw. And I've seen days where they don't want it, just like anything else, you know. And then we're going to start in close, and we're just going to work ourselves further and further out there. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to try to keep close contact to the ground with the bottom. So, yeah, I mean, that's just the goal today, is to get a fish for you guys. Decided to start at a different part of the river this morning because you guys have been seeing that other stretch pretty regularly on the live stream. So thought I'd start a little bit further down today and work my way up if need be. And that could very well be what I got to do, is work my way up. I do have all day to fish today if I want to, so I may make some moves. I may not. I mean, this whole stretch I can fish, you know, two and a half times throughout a day, so it's always a nice little stretch. Yeah, that's horses on the hillside. Since you want to ask about that, I'll go ahead and show you some of them wild horses up there on the hillside. That's pretty normal around here. And I just had a bump on the beach, so I was trying to zoom in on them horses for you guys. We got a good selection of wildlife around here when we're fishing the Deschutes River, whether it's deer, elk, bunny rabbits, snakes. We got a lot of good stuff animal-wise around here. Yep, just wrap my bead around the, yeah, tip of my rod. And sometimes when you're bead fishing, you guys, sometimes you need to upsize or make a longer leader. Sometimes a shorter leader works out good. It's really preference for the fish for that day. Sometimes you can get away with a short leader. Sometimes you need a long leader. The fish a lot of times will dictate to you what you're gonna do. All I can say is if you're not getting bit, you need to make some kind of adjustment on your riggings. Pretty much all I got to say about that. Stay fishy, what's going on, man? Look at them horses on that hillside. Even if we're not catching fish, at least you guys are seeing some wild horses anyways. Make sure you guys go check out his channel. He's been doing a couple days worth of steelhead fishing down here this year. He's gonna mess around and catch one if he fishes enough. He likes some cold water fish. He's not so much a warm water fishery. Somebody's truck is farting. Catch one for you, LOL. Huh? Well, we're trying to catch something for somebody, preferably for me. I forgot my frying pan today. I wanted to do catch and cook today. Mr. and Mrs. Texas, what's going on? Glad you could join us this morning. We're throwing some beads this morning, starting out a little bit different than what we've been doing. Yep, res horses, oh yeah. That's one thing certain about fishing down here on the Deschutes. You're gonna see some res horses. You're gonna see all kinds of wildlife. A lot of times you see them coyotes running across the way there too. You hear them talking even if you don't see them. Them coyotes, they like to speak. They are vocal. Maybe it's just because I'm zoomed in on it today, because I was zoomed up on there on them wild horses, and when I brought it back down so you guys could see the river better, I didn't adjust the zoom in part, so when I'm zoomed in like that, it probably makes the water look like it's moving a little bit faster than what it was. And you guys know the drill. Steelhead's a fish of 1,000 or 10,000 casts, so you just never know when they're gonna bite, what they're gonna bite. One thing I have to say about bead fishing is go ahead and throw greens, go ahead and throw purples, go ahead and throw colors that don't even look like eggs. Because it don't have to necessarily look like an egg color to get bit. You can get bit on a bead, even if it's not the color of an egg. One thing I've learned over the years is it does not have to be the same color as an egg to get bit on them. I don't know how much time I'll dedicate to bead fishing, but I thought I'd throw a little bit this morning because I ain't done it yet. I've bobber fished, I've lure fished, and I hadn't thrown a bead yet, so thought why not give you guys a bead show for a little bit. Old Catch D England, man, he likes to throw bead. So do them addicted folks. They like to throw beads too. I kind of don't excel at bead fishing. my where I excel at is throwing everything at them, including the kitchen sink. So bead fishing is just kind of like another one of those arsenal things that's throwing the kitchen sink at them, but don't do a lot of. It's not my favorite way to catch a fish. I'll put it that way. But I do it, and I do catch fish from time to time doing it. So, like throwing corkies, I've caught them throwing corkies before. So, I mean, it's just throwing different things and whatever they like for that day. Yeah. Bead fishing for Chinooks work too, yeah. Or chum or coho or whatever you want to call those other species of salmon. I know I've watched quite a few people do it on YouTube and stuff like that. Check my hook, because that is kind of a small hook. It wouldn't take much to bend it out of place or ruin the tip to where you couldn't get a good hook set. See, somebody recommended that I use a size 8 hook, and I was already using a size 8 hook on my bead rod anyways, so that was already a check mark on my list. I try to keep my rod somewhere close enough to where you guys can see it, because I want you guys to see that bite if I do get it, and the exact time when I set the hook. One aught is good too. Yeah. A one aught would work good, but I'm not just trying to catch steelhead. I'm trying to catch other fish too, whatever wants to bite, So kind of like a double whammy for me, because I know I can catch other fish other than just steelhead while I'm bead fishing. So I tend to go with a smaller hook, so that some of the smaller fish should be caught, and I'm not just fishing. I'm catching fish for you guys, even if it's not the steelhead that I'm looking for, Because I've thrown all the way up to a 2-aught hook underneath the bead or behind the bead, just to eliminate some of them smaller fish. But I like to just catch fish, so that's why I choose to go with the small hook like that, because I just want to catch fish. I don't necessarily have to be a steelhead. Them addicted folks, they like to complain about the whitefish when they catch whitefish fishing for steelhead. Me, I welcome the sight of any fish, you guys. I don't complain about it. I like to catch fish, That's why I do so much. That's why I put so many videos out on catching whitefish too, is because when I'm fishing for steelhead, I'm going to be catching whitefish, so I might as well put that out there for everybody. I don't know what that was about, but I probably disturbed the wife this morning. My drink fell out of the truck this morning because I decided to take the truck or the car. I was taking everything out of the car, putting it in the truck because I wanted to drive the truck today. And then my drink falls out and my can breaks, and then I have to pour it into a cup just so I don't waste it, so it don't go all over the ground. So my wife was probably thinking, that guy's always so mad in the mornings when things don't go his way. Well, I don't mean to get mad. I mean, it's just when you spend money on something you want to enjoy, you don't want it to spill out all over the ground. You want it to spill into your mouth and into your belly, So Fishy, 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 fishy. Thank you guys for joining us, though. It is a beautiful morning to be alive. I used to think nothing about covering as much water in a day. I used to start up here in the morning, fish this whole stretch. Then I'd make a 10-mile run to another spot just to go fishing. It's probably more like if it was river miles, it'd probably be like maybe 10 miles. But being that it's road miles, it's probably about half an hour away from me. So that's probably what, 30 miles away. I just don't run like that much anymore. I mean, I still got the energy to, I just don't, for whatever reason. And I used to catch more steelhead doing that, but it's like gas and everything else and the price of everything else. Just like sometimes it's not worth making that extra run. So that's why you don't see me doing as much running as I used to. And plus, some of the spots I run to don't have live stream ability, but I was able to always record. So I didn't even bring my GoPros today. I just thought, well, I'd fish, do the live stream this morning, and then maybe shoot some footage from my phone. I should have brought my cameras because the second my phone goes dead, that's the second I'm gonna get a big old steelhead, and you guys are gonna miss out because I don't have my batteries. Fat Cat, what's going on? How you doing on a Saturday morning, man? It's a nice chilly fall morning in Central Oregon, y'all. Loving it though. Not as chilly as the other morning because I can't see my breath. I'm good too, man. I just enjoy life. I like to catch fish. I like to fish. I like to try and figure them out too. I just kind of hoping I get destroyed on this bead and get a fish early, but so far it's been just a lot of casting and retrieving without nothing in between. I've had maybe a bump, but I can't really say for sure. Alex and Bella will be down here sometime today. I hope. Maybe they'll bring me a frying pan. That way if I catch a fish, I can fry it up for y'all. That'd be kind of cool to get a steelhead caught and fry it up, or even a whitefish for that matter. I hear so much bad stuff about whitefish, but they are tasty. So tasty. Oh man, I'm telling you, want to talk about a tasty fish? You ain't never ate a whitefish? I would say you should probably try whitefish. They're not just trash fish, y'all. They're tasty fish. I just kind of eat different fish just to debunk the fact that people call them a trash fish and they're not worth eating. I've eaten a pike menace. I've eaten whitefish. I've eaten carp. I've eaten suckers. Now, the downside to suckers and carp are they are really bony. The meat don't taste bad, but they can be really bony. So, just to throw that out there, you guys. Fat chicks? What do you mean, fat chicks? Hi, Russell. How you doing today? We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, you guys. We are like, 90 away from it? Probably 88, I think, is what we're away from it. So, you guys, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share. We're trying to get to 2,000 before the end of the year. Into 2025, y'all. Well, you know, you're kind of funny there. You're kind of taking that out of context here. We're talking about fish. We're not talking about... Oh, well. I'm going to do my best. Thanks for subbing. Going to do my best to catch a big one. Or a little one. I just want to fish, you guys. I would like to have a steelhead to do catch and cook, but I'll take a whitefish as well. I don't mind. Or a nice legal trout would be nice too, I guess. Because it is still trout season until the end of the month, and then trout season closes. So, end of October, trout season will be over with. And it's just steelhead and everything else. But bead fishing, it can be fun and very effective way to catch steelhead. Some people do it bobber dogging, bead fishing. And then there's like what I'm doing, which is throwing it out there and bouncing along the bottom and hoping like heck you swing it in front of a fish's face. So. I think I got, what, 3 different colors of beads, but I'm only throwing one color, I think, today. Unless I break off, then I might be forced to throw on another color bead on there. And then some people throw a double bead setup. It's where you gotta, well, after I reel this in, I'll do a hand kind of signal kind of thing in front of the camera. That way you guys can kind of understand what I'm saying without actually rigging up that way. Okay, so this is what my bead setup looks like right now, okay? Okay. Right now I'm just using an orange bead. But anywho, basically you can throw a double riggings out there. But this is what I'm doing right now. I've got a slinky and with a 24-inch leader. Basically, and what I'm doing is I'm throwing out there the weight is staying on the bottom and it's kind of floating up in the water column like that. Okay, so preferably a longer leader is always a good thing, in my opinion, when you're bead fishing. But you can do like a double bead rig. So this one's about a 24-inch leader. And then, so basically what you would do is you tie this one on. And what you would do is go with a lot longer leader when you're starting to do this. So you would tie this one on first, then you put your bead on, your bead stop, which is what I got right here. And your leader, if you're going to run a double, is not going to be 24 to 36. It could be, you know, it'll probably be 36 because you're going to run 2. So you'll put that on at 24, put your bobber stop, and then you hook. And basically what's going to happen is you'll have that much long of a tail on there. Okay. So, and then what you would do is you'd put that on, tie a snell knot or a no knot or a egg sac loop knot, whatever you want to call it, because people call it all kinds of different things. And then down, it would go through the hook, you tie it, and then down below it, you'd have another bead stop, and then another hook. and that would be a double bead rig. So you'd be throwing 2 beads instead of 1, with 2 hooks instead of just 1 hook. And basically what that does is it gives you an opportunity to fish 2 beads and maybe get an opportunity to catch a fish that way. So hopefully that kind of opens it up and gets your eyes or your mind thinking about what it looks like. I've rigged them up before. I don't necessarily care for that, because when if I'm throwing a spinning rod, I don't mind throwing a double bead rig. Or if I'm fishing out of a boat and I'm throwing a bead rig, double bead rig off of a bait caster, I don't mind. But when I'm throwing a 36-inch leader behind me, that's almost hitting the ground. It's hitting the weeds behind me. It's making it an issue for me to cast. So I don't necessarily care for it when I'm fishing from the bank unless I'm throwing a spinning rod. And I don't throw a spinning rod a whole lot. I throw mostly bait casters unless I'm doing like a set float rig. Then I do. Hi, how you doing? So that just to kind of explain it a little bit, you guys. And if you look behind me, where my stuff is right now, I'm in between 2 bushes as it is. And every time I go to cast, gives me an opportunity to catch one of them bushes and backlash the heck out of my reel and make a big old nest, and then I'm going to spend hours trying to get it undone. And I don't want to be doing that. I want to be spending my time fishing instead of trying to get a backlash out of my reel. So hopefully that kind of helps you to understand what I'm talking about with the double bead rig. And plus they do that when they're bobber dogging as well. They'll do 1 bead bobber dogging, or they'll do 2 beads. Technically, if you wanted to, in Oregon, you're allowed 3 hooks on one reel rod. So technically, you could do 3 if you wanted. In Oregon. That's why you see them addicted guys on the Columbia River when they're fishing for steelhead and salmon and stuff. They'll run 3 spinning glows. And like they got a kayak to kayak their stuff out there to where they want to when they're salmon fishing or steelhead fishing. And then they'll be fishing 3 different depths in the water column. So the way to be on the bottom, and then they'll have 3 different sets of spinning glows on there. All right, Blue Wolf, what's up? Jig, Beads, and Roy. Is another way jigs first, then a bead a few feet past the jig. Yeah, I've never heard of that one, but hey, that's actually a pretty good idea, I think. So basically what you would do is tie the jig on and then tie a leader to the shank of the jig head and then run your bead behind it. Is that what you're talking about, Wolf? I'm about ready to put this thing down and throw some lures through here because I know there's a fish. I know there's a fish in here. I just got to convince them to bite. Excuse me. One of these years when I do some Columbia River fishing for salmon and stuff, I'm going to show you how to do that triple spinning glow setup. I mean, I could probably do it here on the Deschutes, but I don't know why I would. If you could use bait, it might make a little more sense to plunk. I'm not real sure. So yeah, I'm just thankful you guys decided to join me this morning. Whether we catch something or not, you know, I'd like to catch something. I'd like to do a catch and cook today, to be honest with you guys, but I don't know if I'm going to catch a fish or not. I can know what I'm doing all I want, but if the fish aren't biting, the fish aren't biting. you know. And I can explain to you guys all the correct ways to do something, but if the fish aren't biting, they're not biting. So we're gonna put this bead down for a minute. We're gonna throw a couple lures through here. See if we can't pick something up on a lure. You never know. See, there's the hook, size 8 hook, and a bead about 2 inches above. I forget what size bead that is, but I've seen some really big beads thrown through here though. Beads, I'm like, whoa, what you gonna catch with that? A shark? Yeah, I imagine that's pretty true there. Because you don't need bait to catch fish. That's very true. You don't need bait. That's kind of one of those things, you know. Bait's good, but you don't need them necessarily to catch fish. That's for sure. And of course, with the lures, we're going to start in close, and then we're going to work it further and further out there. Cover as much water as we can in one spot. You know, then either switch different lures, switch to a different spot. You know, and when you're steelhead fishing, literally, it could be a matter of 2 feet difference. You know, you start out here, you fish it, you take 2 steps down in the river, and you might catch a steelhead. It's just a lot of times I feel like it's angles at times. You know, when you're trying to get a fish, if you don't have the right angle, sometimes you're not going to catch a fish. A lot of fish jumping though, just none biting. What a beautiful morning it is to be alive. What a beautiful morning. Boy, what was it? Tuesday, I was standing up on my log. I normally like to stand up on and stay fishing, man. He was drifting his stuff right in front of 3 steelhead. I could see him drifting right in front of him, and he could not get him to bite nothing. And he'd be like, "Are they still there, bro? Are they still there?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're still there." I literally seen him hit them in the nose, and they just would not eat. Kind of the way it goes sometimes, you know. Sometimes. Throwing on Panther Barton right now. I really don't know how well plunking would work right here on this stretch of Deschutes. I've tried it a time or two. I don't think I had any luck. Pumpkin. Yeah, yeah. That can be frustrating, that's for sure. That's definitely true. Frustrations when you can hit them in the nose that it won't bite, you know? And Ribbon's like, are they still there? Are they still there? And I'm like, yeah, they're still there, bud. And they just, he hits them in the nose and they don't bite. Hits them in the nose and they don't bite. He's like, are you sure they're still there? I'm like, yes, they're still there. After this cast, we'll go ahead and switch to Steely. I've got 3 rods on me here at the on the river with me on the bank, and I've got 5 more in the car that just need to be taken out if I want them, or in the truck because I brought the truck today. I brought the truck, you know. Got to drive the truck once in a while, you know. And it matches me red, you know. You just got to drive the truck. So I brought the truck today. I was going to drive it tomorrow, but I decided to drive it today. Basically what it boils down to with the truck is I'm taking my daughter shopping tomorrow, so I needed to clean out the car of all my steelhead fishing stuff so that I could haul her and the grandbaby around and take them shopping. I guess I could have done it in the truck, but it's cheaper to run the car than it is the truck, so I'm like, why not take all the stuff out of the car, put it in the truck, drive the truck. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and throw the steel. Beautiful piece of steel. It is an art form, that's for sure. Yep, it is. Sometimes you gotta throw the dynamite at them to get them to bite, though. Unfortunately. So this is the SST 86 medium action Akuma with the Corrado DC, or not the DC, but the Shimano Corrado HG 121. 8-pound fluoro, or not fluoro, 8-pound mono. This one has backing of braid because basically what happened earlier this steelhead season was I was casting, caught some weeds behind me and blew up my spool, and so I landed up cutting out about a quarter of my spool of braid. And so in order to be able to cast effectively, I went ahead and just spooled the rest of it with the 8-pound mono, and then kept on fishing. So didn't hurt nothing. So I'm like, trust me, I would like to have my braid on there because I can put more line on there, but you don't need a lot of line. You really don't. A lot of line is just preference, you know, and it depends on how you're fishing as well, because you can only cast so much of your line off the spool anyways. So if you can only cast so much line off the spool, it don't make no sense to over spool it. But the thing is I'm using lighter line than what these reels are normally made for. And so basically what happens is I over spool it every time. you think of bass fishing, you know, most people aren't going to go as light as I am. I'm fishing for a lot meaner fish than a bass when I'm fishing for steelhead or salmon. So basically what it boils down to is I'm overspooling it every time because I'm fishing with a lot smaller diameter than what the reel is actually meant for. Now, you don't have to go with what's recommended for your spool. David Wade, what's up? It does make it does make it cast a lot smoother. A lot smoother, for sure. And it don't make it don't make the noise either, because if you underspool it, it can make a lot of noise. So it definitely makes all the difference to have it spooled up properly. But like I said, you don't necessarily have to have it spooled up properly to use it. But if you want it to be the most effective cast-wise and everything, you do. And like I said, you don't have to use the recommended size line that is recommended for your reel if you know how to use it properly. So the thing about using proper line on a reel is because it will make your reel perform at its peak performance if you're using the proper diameter line for your reels. My problem is I like to use light lines, so I'm going to go with a lot lighter line than what a lot of people will. So, especially, you know, you see all these bass fishermen, they've got a nice fancy bait caster, and they're throwing 20-pound test on it because it's recommended for 20-pound test. Me, it's recommended for 20-pound test, but I'm throwing 8-pound test off of it. I mean, I like lighter line. Like anymore, I don't even read what the diameter line or pound test the line is rated for, because I know I'm already gonna put 8-pound on there, or I'll put braid on there. And braid is a little bit different monster in the fact that it's a lot smaller diameter. So if you're throwing 20-pound braid and it's in the diameter of 6-pound test, which is what most braid is at 20-pound test, it's in the diameter of 6-pound test. So you're gonna put a lot more line on your reel. But the yeah, State Fishy was using 4-pound test for it. What's up, Dan Huxell Jr.? How you doing, bud? State Fishy was using 4-pound test to try to catch steelhead the other day, for sure. Using an ultralight rod and reel. Nothing wrong with that. But braid's a different kind of monster because you can do a lot. You can get a lot more line on a spool. So the one thing about braid fishing is, like, you can go with 60-pound test and it's going to be in the diameter of 20-pound test. It makes a difference, especially when you're trying to pull them bass and stuff out of rocks and heavy cover, where we're still trying to pull them out of, you know, rocks and timbers and stuff. But in my opinion, you don't really need that heavy of line. How often should you replace your braid? That's a good question, Blue. That's a really good question. Because my answer is this. Now, some people are going to look at me and say I'm crazy. Some people are going to look at me and say, well, as long as it works, it works, you know? And that's true. As long as it works, it works. So, what it boils down to with braid is how often do you use it? What are you using it for? And and should I be changing it because of what I'm doing? Okay? Like my side planing rig, I don't replace it ever, it seems like. Maybe once every 10 years, I change my braid on my side planing rig. But that's because I'm only using it for 2 months out of the year, 3 months out of the year when I'm steelhead fishing. Okay? So it's not getting the wear and tear that this reel gets because I'm using it a lot. See, this reel that I've got here, I use a lot. And I blew up a spool, so I had to replace some line. But do I feel like I need to change it regularly? Probably. But the question is what am I using it for, and how am I destroying my line? Okay. P line's gonna be cheaper than braid. Yeah. But like this one, depends on how I'm using it. That's kind of cast that was. This one I've had for a year. I've not changed the line at all, but I use it enough to say, you know, my braid's holding up very well. Um, uh, I mean, when it comes to line, how much are you using it? Is it an everyday thing or every trip thing? Like, cause I've got like, when I'm steelhead fishing, I've got 5 rods I'm constantly using. They've all got braid on them. But because I'm using them for different applications, I feel like I can get a longer life out of them than as if I was using one rod throwing multiple different things on it the whole season. So it's a hard question for me because it's not something I do a lot of, is changing lines. Because like my float rods, I don't ever change the line on them. I don't, because they're not hitting the rocks. They're not hitting the sunken timbers in the water. But like my casting gear, where I'm down underneath the water and I'm hitting rocks and I'm hitting sunken timber and stuff, I feel like I have to change that more. But do I need to change it every year? No, I don't feel like I need to. I don't remember the last time I had to change a spool of braid. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I was using like 4-pound braid all the time on my trout rods, you know, that I use like constantly, that I use all the time during like this winter, spring, and fall, I feel like I have to change those like once a month. Although I rarely ever do change it that much. Hello, Bigfoot. Yeah, Bigfoot. I like that. Verily, how you doing? Um, yeah, that's true. So basically, what it comes down to with braid is I rarely ever change it. Rarely ever. Uh, for 3.5 months out of the year, I'm constantly using every steelhead rod I've got. Whether it's a float rod, a casting rod. Um, well, there's two types of float rods I use. I use a rod for a slip float. I use a rod for a set float. I use a spinning rod for a set float, and then I use a bait caster for a slip float. So, and I've never had to change the line on a float rod. I've never had to change the braid on a float rod ever. Never. Although my ultralight, or well, it's actually they call it a medium light float rod. I use all the time for bluegills and crappies and trout. I've had that stuff on there for 3 years and I still have not changed it. But it's a float rod. The line's not hitting rocks. It's not hitting uh, all that other stuff. So so changing it just don't make much sense to me because it's not getting all the abrasions and stuff. Um, it's like my steelhead rods. I take out catfishing with me. My pink float rod. I take that out catfishing. That's what I caught all my catfish on this year. Was my float rod. But I also took this one out there fishing off the bottom. I didn't catch any catfish off of it this year, but I still took it. Like last year when I hooked that really nice salmon on this rod. And this was a brand new reel then. Which reminds me, I need to do a review on my rod and reels again. Which those videos never do any good. I don't know why I keep doing them. I don't know why I keep doing them if they're not going to do no good. But I'm sure there's somebody out there that likes my opinion on rods and reels and everything in between. I don't know. Let's see. I do a rod and reel review every year. I try to every year, not every year. I try to. And I might get 10, 15 views on those videos. I don't know why people don't like them. I don't. Maybe nobody likes the opinions, I guess, that I have. But I've got two Corrados one I've had for 12 years and one I've had for 11 years. And I'm still using them every year. Whether it be cat fishing, steelhead fishing. Before I got my collection of rods that I've got, they were my primary rods or reels, and I was literally using them all year round back then, and they're still going strong. Too much money on fishing line, huh? So there you have it. Braid, I rarely ever change. I do use it a lot, but rarely ever do I change it. Um, like the time I use it the most is the 3 months out of the year where I'm constantly steelhead fishing, which is where we're at now. Um, But I would say that if you're fishing the same rod and reel all the time, if you're if it's the only thing you use because you got such a low selection of rods and reels and you're using it for everything, trout, bass, catfish, salmon, steelhead, then you're going to have to look at it a little bit different. You're going to need to change that line more often. To where me, I've got such a good collection of rods right now and reels where, yes, they're going to get well used, but I'm not going to have to change my line out because everyone's got a purpose. Every rod's rigged up with something different. And yes, I favor throwing a spoon on this rod a lot. Every time I go fishing, if I'm throwing a spoon, it's on this rod. If I go out and I'm throwing a Panther Martin, it's usually on this rod every time. And I throw a Panther Martin every time I go fishing. Or a spinner of some sort. Whether it's a Blue Fox, Panther Martin, a Rooster Tail, it's on this rod. If I'm throwing Castmasters, Cleos, Steelies, it's on this rod. So I'm using it a lot. Because every time I'm throwing it. If I'm throwing a bead, which I don't do as much of, it's that rod you seen me using earlier. If I'm throwing a float, I'm using either the set float rod, and I'm going to pull those out later on when I move to a different stretch of water, but I may not be live streaming at that point in time. Okay. Anybody want some salad? I got some salad for you guys. Who wants the salad? Oh, wait. Just about threw myself into the camera. My pink rod, float rod, I use it for more than just float fishing. I use it for catfishing, stuff like that. And salmon fishing. I like it for salmon fishing too. I just don't do as much salmon fishing as I used to. Come up and say hi, why don't you? Go back. Is that how it works, huh? Tell you need to cut back on it, and so then you're gonna buy more. I like that. I'm trying to buy another kayak. You guys, and it's powered by Minn Kota. Um, the kayak is. So I'm trying to buy another kayak right now. Yeah, I love fishing gear too. I got probably more than enough for everybody in Central Oregon if I ever decided to start selling stuff or giving it away. I probably got enough stuff to supply a fishing store or two, you know. But is it ever going to be enough? Nah. Let's see, a grizzly bear with a chainsaw, huh? Wow, that's a good name. I like that. I don't think I've ever been into a Waffle House before. Okay, you used to come into the Waffle House and ask because your front teeth are rotten out from using meth. Huh. Well, that wasn't me, my friend. Sorry, I got my teeth, and they're not all rotting out from meth. See that? They ain't rotting out by no meth. Sorry, I think you got the wrong person. Wrong person. Yeah, those addicted guys, man, they made a video here a while back. I made a comment on. They made a video about catching 10 salmon on 10 different lures, and if they could do it. And of course, in my opinion, they should be able to do it. Doesn't necessarily mean that they could do it, but in my opinion, they should be able to do it. One, they're guides, so they get paid to know where the fish are and how to catch the fish, okay? Now, that's in no way guarantees that they're going to catch a fish. But the other part to that is this. Not only are they guides and they get paid to catch fish or put their clients on fish, but you also see them taking guided trips themselves for being guides by other guides. And so, in my opinion, one, they're professional fishermen. They do it for a living. Two, they are paid to put people on fish, so they should know where the fish are and how to get them to bite. Three, they oftentimes take guided trips themselves for being guides, and so they pay other people to take them out to catch fish. So when you're putting out a video like that and asking, I got stuck on the log right there. We might have to go get this. All right. Well, let's take a little walk, you guys, and I'll talk about what I'm talking about here. Hopefully my tripod don't fall over, because the way I have it set up over there is. Yep. You guys just fell over. You guys just fell over. I'm sorry about that, you guys. I don't know the way it goes when you're trying to get unhung. All right, I got myself unhung. We're gonna get this tripod set up and we're gonna fish from over here for a while. Anywho, back to the loaded question, in my opinion. Okay. Anywho, back to. I like that, Sky. I like that. But anywho, so to me, when they put out that video, it was kind of a loaded question. So basically what I did was I said, well, that's kind of a loaded question, because you guys are guides, you get paid to do that. You guys should know. The other thing is you guys take paid guided trips also. So basically what it boiled down to me with that on their headline for their video was, in my opinion, yes, they should be able to. Doesn't mean that they're going to be able to. But yes, in my opinion, a loaded question, because A, their guides, and plus they also pay to get guided at times. I'm going to leave you guys right here. I'm going to go grab my stuff, and I'm going to move to this spot, and I'm going to fish this spot for a little while. And I'm going to be out there, and I'm going to still be talking to you guys, so hopefully you guys will be able to hear me, and I'll adjust my tripod to kind of accommodate everything. So I'll be right back, you guys. Hold on. Okay. I don't know about that, Jan, but okay. But anywho, so you kind of got, I hope you guys kind of get what I'm going with when I say that about Addicted. I'm not saying nothing bad, because quite frankly, I think they work really hard on putting out a really good product for everybody. They've been doing it forever. They are the top, in my opinion, one of the top YouTube channels in the Pacific Northwest. And so, yeah, I think they're doing a great job. I just feel like sometimes some of their questions are kind of loaded when they talk, when they do stuff like that. Just for the simple fact that that's their job. They get paid to do. I don't get paid to do this job, and I love my job. I love fishing. I'm gonna get this tripod set up, hopefully in a way to where you guys can see what I'm doing from the let's see here. I'll get up there on that log and I'll see how well you guys can see me once I get up there, okay? Hi! I don't know if I catch more fish. I catch a lot of fish, but I ain't no addicted, guys. That's for sure. So we're gonna start out like always, starting close, work ourselves further and further out. Hopefully the fish are gonna cooperate. If not, we can always move to another spot. Because that's fishing for you. What a beautiful morning to be alive and be fishing, you guys. Such a beautiful morning. Now, I think Mr. Jan is kind of partial because he's known me for like 20 some years. So I think he kind of thinks that I think he kind of thinks I'm better than what I actually am when it comes to fishing. I'm just average when it comes to fishing. I think it's supposed to rain a little bit, be a little nasty today, which is fine. I'm going to be fishing anyways. Hopefully we're going to catch a steelhead and we're going to do a catch and cook today. That'd be nice. I would take a legal sized trout even, you know. Only thing is I forgot my frying pan at home. I got all my cooking gear except for my frying pan. We're gonna get back to doing some bead fishing after we fish this spot with a couple lures, or maybe just one lure, I don't know. And then we'll get back to bead fishing. Blue. So many fishing shows out there. It comes down to personality to me. Yeah, I like Jordan too from Addicted. I think them Addicted guys are great. I mean, they're really good fishermen. They know what they're doing. I would rather watch G-Man, huh? Well, I don't know if I'm as good as them boys are. I mean, they know their stuff. I mean, I like watching Sky's channel. He's pretty good at what he does. I like watching Stay Fishy Redmond too. He's pretty good at what he does. Yeah, I can't catch a fish in a bathtub. I know. I couldn't for sure. I just don't know how to catch a fish, you know. I wish I did, because you guys would be watching me reeling the fish instead of fishing. Thanks for stopping by, Jan. Have a good day. And I thank you, Guy, for wanting to watch G-Man fishing. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Every time somebody hits that like, comment, and subscribe button, shares, and says, hey, you're doing a good job, I appreciate that. I mean, it's to think that somebody as plain and as boring as me could be doing something like this, and you guys would be willing to watch it, that's awesome. That's so awesome. What do you guys think, huh? Should I go back to throwing a bead? Should I throw a Panther Martin in here? And there went another fish jumping. I think I'll throw this a few more times, and then I'll switch back to bead just because of the title and the name of this video. Because I am trying to do some bead fishing today. It's just that I know that the more things I throw, the more likelihood of catching more fish. I got a rock cod just then. It's a beautiful morning. For sure, for sure. Man, all these bugs in the willows here. Maybe I'll take you guys and give you guys a look at all these bugs in the willows. Sky, what time next year should I come down there to where you're at and try and catch a trout with you? I think I want to make that a priority next year, going to California. I would be cool if we had digital fishing glasses. Yeah, that would be cool. The chat. Oh yeah, which reminds me, that in glasses these days, I may end up buying me a pair just to sync to my phone, so you guys can. That yeah, that might be something that could be. I mean, I wouldn't be able to see you guys' chat, but I mean, literally, I could be like, woo, and you guys could be seeing what I'm seeing. They do have, they do have them. Um, and I'm gonna check into them. Uh, but right now they're pretty spendy. But I'm gonna check into some of the glasses. But that good thing you brought that up, Sky, because yeah, they do have them. But being a broke YouTuber like me, it would be a bit fetched for me to do. But I'm gonna try next year and get me a pair of them glasses with the cameras in them that I can sync to my phone, because literally I would be able to live stream from my phone into those glasses. The only thing is I wouldn't be able to read the comments. But yeah, that's something that I'm interested in doing next year. Right now you can pick up a pair for about $300, I think it is. But I need them in my prescriptions so that I can see. So, or just get contacts and I could do it that way too, I guess. Which may be an option. So next year I'm hoping to get me a pair of those glasses that I can connect to my phone and I can live stream from, and you guys can actually see what I'm doing as I'm doing it, instead of going like this to where the chesty does the thing, but I don't have a computer to do the live stream from my chesty. So next year what I want to do is I want to get those glasses that I can connect to my phone and be able to live stream from the glasses. Yeah, I would like to be able to do the chat and pay attention to the live stream as well. And, you know, with the glasses, I may be able to do something like that. That would be cool. But anywho, back to what I was saying, Sky. Next year, I want to make it a priority to come down to California for a couple of days and try to do some fishing down there. So I would like to try and do a collab with you next year, as long as it's during a time that will work for you. So start thinking about that and what time of year would be good for me to come down and do some trout fishing with you, and maybe we can do some collaborations and stuff like that. So just something out there for you, Sky. So be thinking about something like that, and time of year would be good for you, and time of year that would be good for me. Back to fishing anyways. Excuse me. See. Thank you for liking. I appreciate that. Glad you could join us. Yeah, I would probably say more like May, maybe June, because September and October is always kind of iffy because I might be hunting. So maybe let's think about doing something in May when it's still cooler because June is going to be a little bit toasty, I think. Come down there, do some fishing with you. Try to do something like that, a collab. Do like a collab live stream, type thing, or even take out the chesties and do some collabs that way. That would be pretty sweet. That would be pretty sweet. All right, let's throw a bead for a while, you guys. Throw a bead for a while. Now, just to say this again for you guys, okay? Now, when bead fishing, you do not have to stay within the realm of the egg color. You can throw pink, you can throw purple, you can throw green, you can throw chartreuse, you can throw blue. And yeah, you will still be able to get bit on those colors. It don't have to be a bead that looks the same color of an egg. So when throwing beads, you can go a lot bigger, you can go a lot smaller. You don't have to throw the same color of an egg to get bit on them. But you can go bigger, you can go smaller, you can go green, you can go purple, you can go off the wall Neapolitan, which is like 500 different colors in a bead, and you'll get bit. So just realize this, that just because you're bead fishing doesn't mean you have to go with the same color that an egg would be to get bit. A lot of times, color is preference oriented, you guys. Just to let you guys know. So, now old Catch the Angling, when he was doing the YouTube thing and fishing with me a lot, he threw beads a lot. He loved to throw beads. So, I don't think he's fishing much anymore. Used to be me and Catch to Eat fished a lot together. So I just don't think he's fishing much anymore. And he's not talking much either. So I don't know what's going on with the Catch to Eat, but I just don't hear from him much anymore. I forgot my frying pan. I know. Oh, whoa, whoa. That might have just been a rock. I got all my cooking stuff except for a frying pan if we catch anything. Alex and Bella just showed up. All right, man. Yeah, I'll be up there sometime today. He's going to go up above and fish where he likes to fish. Me, I'm fishing down here because I like to fish down here. I like to throw different things, fish different areas. You guys? Trust me, them steelhead are in there. Just because we're not catching them doesn't mean they're not there, because they are. Rogue and Umpqua, I need to get over there and fish some of that water sometime. That would be sweet to get over there and fish some of that water. Rogue and Umpqua. Unfortunately, if I was fishing there, it'd be a lot of the same as here. Because, like I said, steelhead fishing is a fish of 1,000, sometimes 10,000 casts before you catch one. And so many people, they're like, oh, I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to catch them. You can say that, doesn't mean it's going to happen. Unfortunately, fishing is that way. Unfortunately. Yeah, that's true. There are steelhead at the dam for sure. I mean, you guys have seen me fishing quite a bit this morning, and it's just a par for the course when it comes to fishing. It's just a matter of time before you run into one you're actually going to land. I've already hooked steelhead this year. I've taken a steelhead home this year. So I mean, it's just finding them and consistently getting them to bite. It can be a hard task to do. I mean, look at Alex. One day he had 4 bumps and landed 1 fish. I mean, it really is just a matter of time, and if they're interested. I mean, that's steelhead fishing for you in a nutshell. You just never know. You just never know. So, and all you can do is put your time in, do it time and time again, and hope like heck that you have that day that you're looking for. Where you hook multiple fish in a day. You know, you, look, this morning I could fish for hours without a bump. This afternoon I could hook 4 fish. You just never know. You just, that's fishing for you, especially steelhead fishing. That's true. It is a small window, for sure. Yeah, that's true. And like the fish are here. It's just getting them to bite. You know, presentation, depth, color. You know what it boils down to. And you know how I know I'm fishing right? I'm catching solid. That means I'm fishing right. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm catching them, but it means that I'm fishing properly. I'm where the fish are usually going to be biting at. One of these times I'm going to be drifting, I'm going to hook a steelhead, I'm going to hook a trout, I'm going to hook a salmon, I'm going to hook a whitefish, I'm going to hook a sucker. Yeah, they do. They launch further down. Basically, what it boils down to is about I don't know, quarter of a mile, half a mile down, and there's a boat ramp that they're launching from. See, there's no boat ramp further up. But the PGE, Portland General Electric, they'll launch there by the dam, but to where most other people can't do that. So basically, what happens is they got to go to the boat ramp just below me, and that's where they launch from. And you can't fish. You can't fish from a boat on the Deschutes River. It's against the law to fish from a boat. They say because it's a dangerous river is why they can't. They're not allowed to. One of these years, what I like to do is get one of them laptops that's got its own Wi-Fi signal and connect to my GoPro, because that's what it takes is a Wi-Fi signal to connect to the GoPro, and then also connect to the phone, and then I could live stream and have somebody answering questions from the laptop while I'm live streaming. Would be kind of cool. I think this is going to be the I think this is going to be the last cast with a bead, and I'm going to throw a blue fox or a panther martin for a minute, and then I'm going to get off this live stream and just fish for the rest of the day, unless something amazing happens, and then I might do another live stream. But I think I'll throw a panther martin for a little bit through here, just to say that I threw 3 different styles through here, and hopefully catch a steelhead on that. If not, then I'll get off the live stream and then I'll just start fishing like crazy. Hopefully I'll get some footage on camera of a fish at some point today, or a catch and cook or something. If I do a catch and cook, I'll go live for that. That way you guys can watch that. Rather it be a steelhead, trout, whitefish, I'll do it if I catch something. So, and basically bead fishing, I'm drifting all the way as much to the bank as I can. Just like if I was throwing a lure, I'm drifting in as much as possible. All right, putting the bead away. Get the panther martin out. Try that for a minute. Do. Panther martin, gold and black. Let's go, you guys. Let's get a steelhead. Let's go. Let's get one. What's up, Eric? But yeah, I mean, it can be a little bit of a pain to try and predict if you're going to get a steelhead on live or not. It's kind of one of those things to where, you know, you can fish and know where they're at, know they're there, cast a million times, and hope like heck you get one. But unfortunately, steelhead fishing is a lot of this: casting, retrieving, casting, retrieving, casting, retrieving. But it's actually cast, drift, retrieve. Cast, drift, retrieve. And you're casting in close, working it further and further out. You're drifting into the bank, reeling it in. That's steelhead fishing for you. That's there's no question about it. That's steelhead fishing for you. You're not going to be able to predict when they're going to bite. If they're even going to bite while you live stream. And no, it's not Eric or Greg, because I'm not Greg. And then there's the ever so clever rock cod that decides that it wants to get your lure. And I may end up losing it. And I've been throwing that one a lot this year. Ugh. Yep, I just broke it off. Imagine that, 3 casts into the panther martin this morning, or on this spot, and unfortunately that's the way it goes sometimes. Get re-rigged up and get back out there, you know. But all we can do, you guys. So basically when I'm steelhead fishing, I've got this one little box here have myself a little seat here. I've got this one little box here. Then I put everything that I might need for a day of steelhead fishing, you guys. Okay. This has got my spoons. Got my spinners. And that's my box of what I'm gonna be throwing, you guys. Gonna throw on a yellow and gold this time. Or yellow and white, or silver, I mean, this time. Panther Martin, a number 9. Yep, that's just fishing for you, for sure. I mean, if you're gonna be fishing, you're gonna be getting hung up once in a while. It's like old Herman Outdoors says, if you ain't losing gear, you ain't fishing. That's so true. You ain't losing gear, you ain't fishing. So very true. And then, before I put this away, the other side got all my jig fishing stuff in it. See? All those different jigs I use. Steelhead fishing. A good portion of lures and a good portion of jigs. Lots of stuff. You never know what they're gonna want, what the day's gonna bring. Cloudy day like today, you never know. I mean, you just never know, you guys. Unfortunately, I lost my golden black Panther Martin. Now I'm gonna cry. I'm so lonesome I could cry. Because I lost that lure I've been throwing for quite a while. Yeah, that's what I'm throwing. Throwing a 1/8 and 1/4. If I can find a bigger one, I will buy a bigger jig, just because that an application could call for a different size, bigger or even smaller. So I definitely recommend that if you can find a bigger one or a smaller one, always worth checking out to try, because you just never know. See that tag? It's gonna go in my pocket. There you guys go. Rigged up and ready to go. I'm close to Worm Springs. See that tag in? It's gonna go in my pocket until I can throw it away. I'm close to Worm Springs instead of Moppin. Moppin's quite a ways away from me yet, where I'm fishing from. There we go. We're ready to go. We're gonna throw that for a minute, and hopefully we're gonna get bit. If not, well, at least we can say we tried. Yep, close to Worm Springs. All right, you guys, let's catch a fish. Back to it. Back to the daily grind. steelhead fishing, guys. And I'm telling you, steelhead fishing can be a grind. Definitely can be a grind. Now that blue panther martin that I just lost was a size 6, so it's quite a bit smaller than the size 9 that I'm throwing now. Throwing different sizes makes a difference sometimes. Sometimes they want a smaller presentation, sometimes they want a bigger presentation. And I'm not so sure that it's because they want it. I think it's just because you get it in front of them and they decide to and bite, you know. Warm Springs, yeah, I fished the Moppin area a lot. Well, I don't fish the Moppin area a whole lot. I did like the Shears Falls a lot, you know, years ago, but I don't fish it much anymore. I probably should, but I don't. I remember I used to chase the salmon down there at Shears Falls a lot, and then fish the steelhead up here till the end of the year, and then after the end of the year, um, um, hello, how's it going, George? What I'm trying to say is, I used to chase the salmon, you know, early in the year. Well, you know, May, June, down there at Shears Falls. Then I'd fish Shears Falls for the early steelhead in July, August, July, August time frame, when they would just start getting up into the river. And then I would chase the steelhead up here in the fall. But I don't go down to Shears Falls much anymore. And I just pretty much chase the steelhead up here nowadays. I don't go down there anymore, hardly at all. I should. And like after the first of the year, we used to chase them back down to Shears Falls before they head back to the ocean. What up? How you doing, Baba? I think that's the last cast in this spot. We'll move down. I'll live stream a little bit longer because I want to fish that other area with you guys. No, not normally, not here on this stretch of the Deschutes. Usually down towards towards Shears Falls is where they plunk at. I mean, I'm sure you could plunk here if you could figure out how to get them to bite or where they're at to where you could just plunk and just set your stuff out there all day. I'm sure you could. I've tried it a few times, but I ain't never had no luck doing that. I like to drift fish myself. David, what's up? Good morning. Oh yeah, they still net the salmon down there for sure. They definitely still net the salmon down there at Shears Falls for sure, and the steelhead too. They still do both. Now I was gonna get off here after I was done fishing the Panther Martin through the spot, but I got one more spot I want to fish with you guys at this morning. I mean, it's still here in this general area, but I got one more spot I want to fish with you guys at. So let me get down off this log, and we'll move further down, you guys. Hopefully this next spot will produce a fish. If not, we're going to get off the live stream. But I just like sharing my day with you guys. Even if I'm not catching nothing. You know, you guys' interactions make it worth doing this stuff, you know. And as long as people are interested in interacting with me, questions and stuff like that, I'm going to keep, I want to fish as much as possible. I'm still looking for an external battery pack for my phone. For when I'm live streaming and stuff. So I got to get me a new external battery pack for when I'm live streaming, so I can live stream longer. That's why sometimes my live streams are shorter. That way I can save battery. So let's go ahead and go down. We'll try that spot. If nothing else, we'll get off the live stream. And then wait until we catch a fish, and then we'll do a live stream when we catch a fish. That way you guys can see us cook it and eat it. So, Monday I fish haystack again. Monday water temps is down. Yeah, the cooler it gets, the more the trout's gonna get active. That's for sure. Tuesday, steelhead fishing nice. You bought yours off Amazon. Has a solar charger on it. Yeah, I'm still thinking about maybe doing that. Solar charger, but there's so many options out there for a external battery pack today. I just don't know which one I want. So I'm going to get another one. I just don't know when. Kind of the way it goes sometimes, you know? Just is. Just about flopped over when I jumped off the log. All right, you guys, let's go do one more spot before we get off this live stream. And then we're just gonna fish the rest of the day after. And do some recording, of course. $24 off Amazon. Wow, that's pretty cool. I'll figure something out though. I always do. Walk you guys down here to the shallows, which is where I'm going to land up ending my live stream at. Sometimes the shallow end is the end to be at when you're live or when you're fishing for a steelhead. I mean, that there where we were at wasn't really all that deep there, but the thing about it is sometimes you got to go even shallower to catch the fish, you guys. sometimes you gotta go even shallower. Let's get set up here. Get the tripod set up properly so we can do some casting, you guys. All right, we'll go ahead and start out with that rod because it's already in our hand. We just dropped it, intentionally dropped it. Get this set up for you guys. Hopefully we're gonna catch a good one in this spot before we call this live stream edition over. So we'll get you guys set up and hopefully seeing them like right here, I can just cast and talk to you guys, and yeah, maybe it'll work out. Let's get to it. All right. So as always, when we move to a new spot or throw a new lure or whatever be the case, we're going to start in close. We're going to work it further and further out until we feel like we've, oh, there just went a fish swimming upriver from me. I almost lost the lure on the first cast. Imagine that. All right, we're going to start out in close. Of course, in close, we got to cast and reel because it's just usually not enough flow to keep it moving. So we cast out there, we reel in, and we do that several times over until we feel like we've done it efficiently enough to move further out. Further out in the shallow stuff, the better it'll drift. So you won't have to reel so much. But to get you started out, you're just gonna cast and reel, cast and reel. And that way you can maybe hit a couple of fish upstream a little bit too. And then it'll drift down into some of this water below you as well by casting and reeling. And we started out with the Panther Barton. A size 9 Panther Barton to be exact. Of course, if you've been watching the channel this whole time, you guys already know that. And we're gonna go a little bit further straight, but we're gonna still be casting and reeling because we're not out far enough to where we can drift properly without reeling. So, oh, fish on, you guys. Haha. Oh no, it came off. No. Woohoo. What was that? Third cast? What was that? Third cast we got hooked up? Was that the third or the fourth cast? Thank you. We just got hooked up. It wasn't no steelhead, but the cool thing was it was a bull trout, which was nice. The only thing is he came off before I could show him to you. But hey, Panther Martin, one bite. All the other stuff, nada. But we got bit. What's up? Let's go. Now, if that don't make you excited, nothing will. See? It paid off to say one more spot. One more spot. We did it. We got hooked up. Wasn't a steelhead, but it was a really nice bull trout. We couldn't have kept him. We couldn't have eaten him because The bull trout are a protected species in the Deschutes River, but at least we hooked a fish. Let's go. The gratifications of finally hooking up, you guys. The gratification. Fishing all morning, hours of fishing, nada, nada, nada. We finally got bit, you guys. That's freaking awesome. We got bit on the Panther Barton, you guys. Let's go. Shallow water produces fish, just like the deeper stuff does. Always worth hitting that shallow water. Always worth it. I just would have liked to land that fish so you guys could see it. I don't know if you guys even see me battling that fish or not, but you know, it's kind of the way it goes. I don't have the chesty on, which has a better view in my opinion. But I didn't have the chesty on, so. Come on, give me another fish. Sometimes it's just one and done, you guys. Sometimes. One and done. Oh, come on. One more fish. This time be a steelhead though. We're gonna drift that one. Remember when you're drift fishing, keep that rod tip down. That way when that fish does bite, you'll be able to sweep upstream and get a good hook set. Another thing that you should always think about doing when you're drift fishing is to keep that rod tip pointed towards the water. That way when you set the hook, Alex just missed the fish. I think Alex just missed the fish, you guys. Can I get down to the point a few yards away? Oh, what do you mean by that? What, what do you mean? You want me to move? You want me to move like this? Can you see me better? Is this what you mean? Hopefully this is what you were meaning, Mr. and Mrs. Texas. Moving down a little bit. Hopefully. All right, let's switch rigs. You guys, try something a little bit different. We're going to start in close. We're getting further and further out there. What up, wife? But I want to fall, dear. I want you to go, oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Thanks for joining us this morning, dear. We've been grinding it out. We've had one bite all morning. We've been throwing beads and lures and everything in between, and I just threw a pretty good bird's nest in my reel here. Shouldn't be too hard to figure out, I don't think. But I might get hung up and lose my stuff. Doo-doo-doo. I know you want to fish deer, but hey, wanting and getting are two different things. You can want all you want, but if I don't catch one, I don't catch one. Back to back nests. But this one's not nearly as bad as that last nest. That's okay though. We'll figure it out. Get it figured out. And well, it looks like we're gonna lose another Regans because of that bird's nest. Well, I'm gonna walk up river. Leave you guys here to enjoy the view. See if we can't get it real quick, you guys. All right, you guys, we're back. Woo. From Germany. Wow. It's going well. It's going well. A few birds' nests to irritate me, but going well. Going well. Woo. I got it back and I checked the tip. Tip's pretty good on that hook, so back to fishing. No need to change out hook. Sometimes you just get hung up so good you gotta go chasing it. Sometimes you get it back, sometimes you don't. Yeah, that's fishing for you though. All right. Be in quite a predicament if the fish hit right now with all that slack in the big old bow in the line because of that little mess. But that was my fault because I didn't slow it down with my thumb enough to keep it from getting all birds nested on that cast. So far, we've had one bite today. Nothing overly exciting happening. But people are going to say that every time you go out steelhead fishing, it seems like it's more casting and fishing than it is actually catching a lot of times. I just adjusted it so it wouldn't do that, and it just threw a bird's nest anyways. Makes no sense at all when you adjust it to keep it from doing that, and yet it still throws an even worse bird's nest than what you're throwing all morning. Crazy. I don't know. That just don't seem right. Making adjustments and it's still acting all backward around. You're back. Oh, no, 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 no. Jam back. Angler Z Angle. What's up? Hey, look, I've had one bite this morning. And it was a bull trout. It wasn't even a steelhead. This live stream's seen every cast so far this morning. All right. Try it again. Without the oopsie. Without the oopsie. Thing is, my port for my truck don't work, so I can't charge my phone. Right, Todd? All right, man. Thanks for joining us. Stay fishy. Appreciate it. We got maybe 5 more casts in us in this live stream, and then we're going to get off here. I got to save some battery in case if we catch a fish. I didn't even bring my cameras with me today. I should have, but I didn't. But I do appreciate you guys joining us. Josh of all trades. Yeah, just in time to say hi. We got 4 more casts left after this one. And we're going to call it for the live stream edition. But we appreciate you stopping by, Josh. We certainly do. We're going to get a fish today, some kind of fish today, but we're going to get a fish. Come on. 3 more casts after this one. I will, Jan. I'll tell the family said hi, Jan. They're always glad to hear from you. Family is. Two more after this one. Come on, fish. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Cooperate a little bit here. Oh, got some weeds on my lure. It ain't gonna drift properly that way. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, a hot shot lure will work for sure. Sometimes. Let's go. One more after this, and we're gonna get off here. It's the final countdown. Having adult beverages and food, huh? Now, why would I want to ruin my channel by having an adult beverage? I want my beverage, my channel to be clean. All right. Last one. The final drift of the live stream. Can we get it done? I don't know. Fishy here, fishy. Let's go. That work? Thank you. I appreciate it, Blue. Hopefully my little song and dance there at the end didn't scare you off too much. It's the final drift now. Thanks again, you guys, for joining us as always. Remember to catch, kiss, and release a fish once in a while. It ensures a future fishery for all. So, after I'm done slow reeling this through this shallow stuff, we're going to go. And I was hoping like heck we was going to hook up one. Well, steelhead. We did hook up one fish, so that's a positive. But we didn't land it, so that's the negative. You gotta wager the positives with the negatives, I guess. We did catch a lot of salad today. So, you guys, it's been a fun live stream, you know. I appreciate you 110%, you guys. Till next time, this is G-Man Fishing, and we are out.